Chasing 5 delinquent tenants every single month doesn't feel like a big deal, but as you start scaling your portfolio and then you have to end up going after 20, 30, 40, 50 different tenants, this is where this process will start becoming very tedious, very annoying, but at the same time you also cannot neglect. My name is Ping. I run a property management business for over 800 units, and I actually use AI agents to automate this entire process. In today's video, I'm going to show you exactly how I'm using AI agents for rent collection, from sending out notice in our property management software all the way to texting, emailing, calling, until they actually respond to you, and even better, have the system to prepare the eviction notice so that my time is no longer doing the tedious work. And I want you to steal this entire system to start saving your time. Okay, so first thing first, we're going to talk about the traditional way for any property manager to go after delinquent tenant. A lot of times the triggering point is that on the second, you still see that the tenants haven't actually made the rent payment. And this is where a lot of property managers will do a first prompting. We're not really sending out any official notice because we just want to do a friendly reminder. So regularly, your notice is being done through your property management software. And then after that, if there's no response, you start sending out an email or text message. And if you're still not getting responses, that's where you start calling the tenants. Now you're going after the tenants for 3 to 5 more times through text message, calling, emails, and still not getting any responses. This is where a lot of property managers will start preparing for an official eviction notice. And this typically will be drafted or mailed manually or posted on the door, so they need to make another trip over there. And in Ontario, unfortunately, we have to wait 14 days before we can move on to the next step, to file for the landlord-tenant board. So after you give the tenants additional 14 days to address the issue, this is where you can now apply for the official court date or hearing date for your tenant. This sounds very simple for maybe very few tenants that are not paying you rent on time. The issue with this process is that it's very tedious and annoying, but at the same time it's also very important, because if you're not collecting the rent, you're also not collecting your management income. So biggest issue about this process is that it might seem to be very manageable, but the moment that you start scaling up to 500 units, 1,000 units, your delinquent tenants naturally will just go up. But the moment that you need to be chasing for 30, 40, 50 tenants, the workload started increasing, and it's just something that you need to find ways to automate. And let me show you how my AI agent is currently handling this workload for our team. AI agents, once it gets set up, PMS will detect it on the second, and then the way that we're setting out the AI agents is that it's going to actually press the button, send out the notice for us. As soon as it's done, you'll also send out the text message and email. So day one, the text message calls are being sent, and we also have the AI agent fully trained using the friendly tonality to kind of remind them about the rent payment. In day two, if the tenant still hasn't got back to us, the AI agents now will send out the follow-up text message and call with a firmer tone, late rent reminder added, basically just kind of adding a little bit more pressure in here. And this is really cool because honestly, with AI agents, you can actually train the AI agents to how to speak to the tenants based on the time frame and based on the responses that the tenants provide to you. Day three, we're going to have a more urgent text. On the same day, the AI agents will also pull the balance from your PMS, basically your outstanding balance, auto-fill the forms, and also prepare the email, send it over to the tenants. And this is where everything becomes so much easier, because if you're a state or province, essentially the AI agents will just prepare the form, send it over to the tenants, and send a copy to your team so that your property manager can also receive a confirmation that, okay, this now needs to be addressed. And for my property management team, we don't actually touch the rent collection process until day 3 when we receive that notice. Because the moment that we receive that notice, we know that we need to do an in-person checkup, or maybe we need to mail out a physical copy. And at this stage, it's just based on how your team is going to be handling that eviction notice. For my own team, I want my property managers to make a decision on whether or not they feel like they need to actually drop by the property, knock on the door, actually serve that paper in person, or they can just mail it out. So I'm kind of keeping that manually based on the properties, based on the conversation, relationship that they have. I want my property manager to make that judgment call. But my team literally doesn't spend any time, energy thinking about rent collection until day 3. And this is how we're using AI agents to actually improve our efficiency and effectiveness for our operation. Now, how do we actually make this happen? We're going to break it down into 5 different steps. Step 0, which is what I usually call a trigger. And the trigger usually just means that it fires the automation on the second of every single month, connects all the tools, so it runs 24/7. Every single month on the second, it does the exact same thing. And this is how we can remove the human resource from this entire process. Once you have the trigger done, step number 1 is actually to trigger your property management software. This will detect the overdue rent, post the tenant's name, unit balance, and due date, all of that together from your property management software. And then you'll feed it into step number 2, which is what we call the AI brain. You'll read the tenant data, you'll decide the message tone, you'll draft the right text message for each day. And this is where we usually feed in the skill and instruction to the AI tools so that it actually follows our framework. Step number 3 is that we're going to be setting up the text message and voice, and we only need to do it once and you'll follow the exact same process. This is where the system will be texting the delinquent tenants on day 1, 2, 3, close with the AI voice message if there's no response. And after this is done, step number 4 will be preparing the official notice if no response or no arrangement has been made. And this is where the AI agents will be pulling the outstanding balance from your PMS, generate a PDF file, fill in the form, and even prepare for the DocuSign for your property manager to sign, and then delivers to property management software email function. There's no human input needed at the current moment. And once that's done, it goes into step number 5, which is also sending a copy to your property manager. Currently, my team is doing this completely manually. Like I mentioned, I just want my team to have that flexibility to decide exactly what they want to do. But anything prior to that, we don't need to think about it. So now let's talk about the tools that's actually required for each step. And for triggering, I use NAN or Make, or sometimes use Claude, or you can just use Claude to trigger the process. Now it goes into step 1. You want to actually connect your API for your property management software. It doesn't matter if you're using Appfolio, Beauty and Property Aware, Brand Manager. You just need to get everything connected so that your AI can actually go into your system and pull the right data out. In step number 2, connecting the AI brain. Don't make this too complicated. Any language model can work. You can use ChatGPT, Gemini, Cloud API. All that stuff can actually produce the exact same thing. The step number 3 is where you want to be a little bit more technical here. So Twilio SMS is what I recommend because it's so much more flexible for you to be, creating different phone numbers and messaging tenants and all that stuff. So if you get it set up for the regular notice to entry, you pretty much already have the system. You just need to connect it. And then use 11 Labs. This is where it can actually clone your voice and try to change the tonality. And use the 11 Labs plus the VAP, connect the both, and this is how you can start training it to speak in a different way. First voice message is usually pretty friendly. It's like, hey John, notice that you haven't actually made a rent payment. Just want to touch base and let you know that if you can do that for me at some point today, that would be appreciated. Very friendly, quick reminder. Now, if this doesn't get responded at all, the second call that we're going to be making through AI is going to be like, hey John, second time reaching out to you because we haven't actually received any reply from you. Want to know what's happening? If you can give us a call back, that would be great. If there's any issues, please do let me know so that I can work something out. And if I'm still not getting any responses, call number 3 will literally be like, John, just want to send you the last message. We haven't received your rent payment. We haven't received any sort of communication. You should know exactly what's happening here. It's been 3 days, rates usually due on the 1st. And if I still don't receive any sort of communication from you, I will have no choice but start serving you paper as a formality. So once you start feeding into the script and tonality to 11 Labs, typically it started getting better and better. And you can also feed into so many different recordings to 11 Labs to train the AI on how to speak to delinquent tenants depending on the stages. And this is what I love about the AI solution, because with enough data, it actually speaks just like you, and you just need to kind of figure out the logic behind it. Once you get everything set up, step number 4 is that once the last call is made, now the AI agent can also pull the balance from your property management software, generate it into a PDF file, depending on what format that you want to do. You'll auto-populate all the information. What I like to do is I like to have a form that's being signed already. So basically, the entire official notice is going to be done, and then you get sent over to the delinquent tenants email through property management software. And while it's doing that, I also ask the AI agent to send 1 copy to my team, the property manager, and this will go into step number 5 is that the property manager will now decide if they are going to be serving that paper in person, knock on the door, maybe do a quick visit to see what's happening, or maybe they'll just kind of mail it out to the tenants. So just depending on how you normally handle this type of situation. This is the 5 steps that you can set up the AI agents for rent collection and honest sale. It's going to make your life so much easier every single month going forward, and regardless of how many units you scale up, this will all work without breaking. And if you want some help to setting this up, you can also reach out to me using the link below.